We are able to do tours here at Masonic Village in our cottages. And in our apartments, a little bit more testing that you would have to go through to do a tour of our apartments, but we are able to do that now because we want to make sure you're safe and our residents are safe when you come in the building. So we're moving ahead and each day. So there's light at the end of the tunnel now. But one of the things we've heard from people when talking with them, giving them calls is, well, how do I sell my house? How do I make this decision during this time? And as Olga will probably tell you, it's amazing what the market has been during this pandemic. We've had residents that have moved in that last year had trouble selling their home. This year they listed it and within a week had significant offers over the asking price, and were able to close quickly and move into their cottage. So it's been surprisingly a really interesting sales market out there for you, or if you're interested in selling your home, it's truly a good time to do that. So without further ado, because I'll keep talking because I have your attention and I love it, but I'm going to turn it over to Olga and she can tell you a little bit about herself and some of those hints that you've joined us today to find out about.
Absolutely. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. I plugged in my mic so that way you can be better. Can I go ahead and share my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
I've made you a co-host, so you should be able to do that.
All right, let me give it a shot. All right, let me know that you can see everything clearly. Can you see the presentation where it says 2021 Real Estate Market Outlook?
No.
No? Okay.
Just blank screen.
Okay. How about now?
No.
There you go.
We're good? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Olga St. Pierre, and I have been a senior living specialist and licensed real estate specialist for the last 12 years, serving clients in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. And helping seniors is truly a passion of mine. So I really appreciate Linda asking me to share with you how our last year has been and also what to expect, kind of what to expect this year with everything that's going on. I prepared this workbook for you, which I am happy to share with you. I'll send it to Linda so that way you have some tips and ideas that I actually took from other workshops that I do on Zoom, and I put it strategically together, specifically for you. And as we are going through, feel free to jump in if you have specific questions, or if you want to jot down your question and leave it till the end. I'll be more than happy to give you an answer. So just real quick, I already mentioned to you that I have been licensed for the last 12 years. This is what I do full time. We have a team of professionals to help you. Everything like Amazon does from A to Z. I really like that philosophy. And the goal is to help you and make your transition as easy and as smooth as possible. We have relocation services anywhere in the United States and Canada to help you. I can tell you that I probably have more clients right now living in Florida than locally. And we do have a very extensive senior concierge service in place to really help you make this as easy as possible, from contractors to senior services such as decluttering, donations, staging, inspectors, and so forth. So anyone that you can think of the concierge service as your virtual yellow pages. That's what we do. And this is one of the things that we truly are passionate about. Now, let's jump in. So this is what I wanted to cover and share with you today, is to tell you a little bit about what happened last year, what I expected to happen and what actually did happen, then what to expect in 2021 in terms of how it's going to affect the economy and real estate, how to prepare to downsize and sell your home in 2021. And also, I'm happy to share the free tools that we provide our own clients so that we can help you make your decision process easier and help you with your moving. Because, you know, what I know for a fact is that moving as a senior, it is 100 times more difficult when it's somebody who is just starting out and they're upsizing or they're going into a bigger home, because we all know that you live in your homes for 30, 40 years and you have so much tied into your home with memories, with things, and it's a very, very emotional decision. So let's jump in and talk about lessons of 2020. Here's something that I kind of thought back that I wanted to share with you, and I hope you can relate to that. Change can happen overnight, right? And it can be small and it can be drastic. And a lot of the times it's completely out of our control, right? There's nothing we can do. There's only two things that we truly can control. And I have to keep reminding myself of that because I am by nature a problem solver. I try to be 10 steps ahead to make sure that I prevent problems and issues from arising. However, really what we can control are only our thoughts and our actions, right? How do we react? Or are we being proactive? Now, here's what I saw happening in terms of real estate. Suburbs have been definitely preferred over city living. What I'm seeing and I'm hearing is people are moving out of New York. People are moving out of really, really dense suburbs because they're looking for more square footage. They're looking for space for office, right? Because really things have changed in terms of where are we working, where our kids and grandkids are now studying. People are looking for backyard space to give themselves ability to clear their head, okay? Next is increased cost of contractor labor and materials. This has been an eye-opener for many people. So I just thought I would warn to you, depending on your timing and your time frame, if there's anything that you may be thinking about doing in your home, be prepared for sticker shock, right? So the home and renovation projects in terms of cost of materials as well as cost of labor has skyrocketed. Next, this is something that I have been surprised is the low mortgage interest rates. They're still holding, right? And what I thought would happen last year is when we had the lockdown in place, we had very strict protocols in terms of, who is looking at homes, how we're going to do that. Things definitely have slowed down. And what I thought would happen, right, after we had a very slow springtime, March through May, things started to pick up in June, but what I expected to see, which is what we usually see, is people trying to be cautious because they don't know what's happening. What actually ended up happening was just a zoo, is what we experienced. And the reason being is because the interest was so low that people were able to afford a better home, and have lower mortgage payments, that everybody wanted to take advantage of it. And what ended up happening was the highest demand for homes in the last decade. And when homes went on the market, there was just not enough of supply of the homes to keep up with the demand. And that trend is actually continuing into 2021, where buyers are able to get rates in low twos, which is something that I have never had in the 12 years that I have been practicing real estate. And this is exactly what we're still happening, right? I'm still seeing this right now. So this is kind of some of the things that we learned in 2020 that pertain to real estate. And now I just wanted to touch upon the things that what we can expect in 2021. Besides having a pandemic, we also had major elections, right? Which had effect on me having, emotional reactions to everything that's going on. And with new president, changes will come in slowly, and we're not sure how they will influence real estate market in short-term future, right? A lot of these changes take time. So the next 6 to 12 months, I'm kind of predicting everything is going to stay the same. As long as interest rates remain low, the demand for homes will remain high, okay? Right now, demand for definitely outpaces the supply, And I can give you an example. I just helped sellers who are downsizing yesterday in Hamilton and Mercer County. We had 5 offers and the home went on the market last Wednesday, right? So we already stopped showing because it was over 25 appointments. And what they ended up getting was $10,000 over asking price. And we made sure that there were only major items that the buyer was going to look at, with no requirements on the sellers except for the standard township inspections. And it was very stressful to try to coordinate. The sellers had to make sure that they buckled down and they were out of the house for a weekend to accommodate all those showings. Okay, so what I am suggesting to sellers right now, right, it is an absolutely great opportunity to capitalize on this buyer's demand to sell a home if it is the right time and it's a right step for you. Okay, one of the things that I want to point out to you, and I actually made a little copy it's a lot of talking, but that's IRS for you, right? The IRS rule on equity gain, if you're selling your own primary residence, where if the value of home increases significantly, if you are within a $500,000 as a married couple or $250,000 as a single, as long as it's your primary residence, you're not paying taxes on the increase of your equity. So that's why I included this language for you to take a look at. And because a lot of people were nervous and saying, well, I have gained so much equity in my home because of how the market is. Am I going to have to pay taxes? So I spoke to my CPA, and this is what he suggested that I include for you to take a look at. Okay, so being in the driver's seat right now as a seller, you are in absolute control on how everything goes. And that is an amazing place to be, meaning that there's minimum repairs that you have to do in your home. You have favorable dates, right? You can tell the buyer, we would like to close on a certain date because that's best for you. And the buyers will have to accommodate if they want to buy your home. And of course, we always negotiate the best price and the best terms. So here's what I wanted to show you in terms pertaining to Burlington County. Since I don't know where everyone is, I just wanted to give you a general idea rather than just letting you know how amazing the demand has been, right? So what I looked at is a 1-year change, and I wanted to show you the key metrics that I always follow just to give you an idea, okay? Now, caveat is that depending which township you are in, which school district you are in, some of these metrics are going to change. They could be a little bit less, they could be a little bit more, but it's even that much more important for you to get an understanding on how the real estate market has been in your neighborhood, right, in your township, in your school district. So overall, Burlington County, 1-year change, just to give you an idea, average sale price went up by almost 20%, okay? Homes for sale actually went down by 63%. That's what we're talking about, the demand for homes versus what is the actual supply, where people are actually making the move. 32% more closed sales this year, and monthly supply, which is a key indicator where we are trying to keep track of to see how the demand is and how many people are actually buying versus selling, went down by 67%, right? So right now, the average inventory is about 1 month. And what that means that is if no homes have gone on the market ever, right? If we were just put a stop to that, it would take just 1 month to sell everything that's on the market, which is unbelievable, right? It hasn't happened in ever, right? So, and the last statistics is the average property marketing period went down by 42%. And what that means is this is how long the home is staying on the market, right? We're talking about days, maybe a couple of weeks, depending again where you are. And the colorful chart is also a good indicator for you, just to give you an idea. If we wanted to compare the last 3 years, it would also tell you just how low the inventory is, which means that those sellers that are taking advantage of the market are in a very, very good position to command the best price and the best terms. And closed sales, as you can see, they went up this year just by 32% is just huge. Another example that I wanted to give you, which is something that I prepare for my clients when we sit down and look at market overview, because one of the questions that I get on very frequently is, when is the best time to sell your home? And my answer to you is, it doesn't matter how the market is, when is the best time for you to sell your home, depending on your plans. So what I did is I took a 1-year overview, which is what I always do for every client. And this is in particular an example of Burlington Township, right? So I just took one township as an example. And what I wanted to show you is just to give you an idea. When you look at 1 year, it gives you a good idea on how the market fluctuates based on seasons, based on demand, based if the school is out or not. And last year is going to be a little bit different only because of our stay at home and where we had coronavirus restrictions, okay? But what I wanted to share with you here is, if you look, for example, in the months of, October, November, and December, a lot of the times where only 27 homes went on the market, units actually went under contract as pending is actually more than the homes that went on the market, right? And what we also look at is the last column. It's called days of the market, is DOM. It's just to give you an idea on how long the home stayed on the market from the time it went on the market until it received an offer that was accepted, negotiated, and executed, okay? And the columns that are at the bottom, what I also wanted to show you is, because we are almost wrapping up the month of January, so I included that in here to give you an idea. The inventory accumulation right now is actually less than a month. It's half a month. That's it, right? There are very, very few homes that are currently on the market. And, what we also try to keep track of is to give you an idea on, if you were to put your home on the market for $300,000, how close to that number you would get as an average in the last few months. Right? So a lot of the times homeowners have been getting either 100% what they're asking or at even more, right? So this is something that we track that pertains to you based on where you are, based on your neighborhood, your school district, as well as your township. All right, how are we going to prepare to make you move in 2021 to make it as smooth as possible and stress-free? Here are my suggestions for you. Number one, please grab a notebook. I am a strong believer in using notebooks for just about everything and different things that I do, and I encourage my clients to do the same thing. This notebook is going to be your dedicated notebook to your moving plans, and I encourage you to write everything down in it to create a visual plan. It's a lot easier for you to write down your thoughts on paper versus just to leave them in your head where they kind of swim without any kind of organization. Okay, you are helping your brain and you're doing your brain a favor, believe me, when you are writing down your thoughts, your concerns, how are you feeling about your decision to move? And I'm encouraging you to think about it as on a positive anticipatory note, okay? Because it's something new and something exciting, okay? And I totally understand that change is hard. However, think of your move as something new, a new chapter in your life that is perfect just for you, okay? Next, we're talking about budgeting and finances overview, right? This is something for you to consider. What is it going to cost for you to move into your new home, right? Do you need to speak with your accountant, make some plans? Do you have all of your legal documents in order? Do you need to talk to your attorney? Next is your possessions. We all have to downsize, right? And you need to decide what you plan on taking with you, right? I'm sure that Linda and other girls will help you design your floor plan on where you're going, which means that you will know exactly what furniture that you plan to take with you, okay? And then what happens with everything else that you have, okay? Next, do you need help? And I can assure you that it is okay for someone to need help and it's okay to ask for it. This is what all of us are here for you, to help you make this plan as stress-free as possible. And number 5 is very important, is to have a conversation with your loved ones. Whether they're close or not, you have to have this conversation, and it's best if you have it in person if you're able to discuss everything. What you want to accomplish, why, when you want to be there, do you need their help? Do you have your affairs in order? Do you have your documents? all of those things. And I have a checklist that I provide to my clients to help them have these conversations, because I can't tell you how important it is, because if God forbid something happens, you're not able to express your wishes, it falls on the family. It becomes very stressful, and they don't know what your wishes are if this has not been discussed ahead of time. Next, no matter when you are making your plans to make you move, my recommendation to you is start prepacking and decluttering now. People don't really think about how much stuff they have until they start going through it. And I can tell you, every single one of my clients said, oh my God, I wish I would have started this sooner, right? So my recommendation to you is do a little bit every day. Number one goal is to take care of your furniture, because it is the most difficult to get out. A lot of the furniture people no longer want. You may not be able to sell it. It takes time to get it removed from your house for donations, because they're busy and they're working with other clients. And sometimes you will have to make your appointment 2 months ahead, right? Use your garage, your closets, and unused rooms to store your stuff, right? Don't take stuff into the basement, because then you're going to have to take stuff out. And the same thing with your attic. And don't worry about how it looks. People understand that you're moving and you're using certain spaces in your home for storage, and that's okay. Have plans, get help for selling and donating, okay? The next one is very important. If you have your kids and grandkids coming to pick up their stuff, you have to give them a deadline. Otherwise, they will never make it. Trust me, okay? You have to tell them, Johnny, you need to come get your stuff by March 15th. After that, it's all going to be donated, because they use your home as a storage, and they have no motivation, no deadline to come pick it up. They're going to continue to use your home as their storage. Next, if you are still overwhelmed and you're not sure, we can help you. There are professionals that can help you to stay on track and advise you as you're going along, and say, hey, you know what? This is an antique. Let's see if we can sell it. Let's see if we can give it to someone else who knows more about it. So we're happy to help you and make that recommendation. Next, review and decide on your moving transition timeline, right? And the way I kind of look at it is, we reverse engineer the timeline. The goal is you want to be in your new location by an X date, right? So then we kind of work backwards to see, when would we need to start? What do we need to accomplish now? And what needs to be done along the way? So that way everything gets done on time and it's not as stressful, and you actually get to your destination on your schedule. If we're talking about your home, right? And for many people, their home is their biggest investment, and this is what they need for their retirement. We also talk about, is there anything else that we need to do in your home to get it ready to sell, right? And it could be a couple of different conversations. It could be something simple as painting. It could be something simple as just, doing some cosmetic things, or you can always put your home on the market as is, right? And it also depends on your timeline. This is why it's important to ask all these questions and to keep all of these things in mind. And you know what, especially right now in this marketplace, just like I mentioned to you with my clients last night, that is what we told the buyers. You are welcome to do inspections. Although the home is in good shape, we're not going to worry about little things. Little things are on you, right? And we made sure that we put that in writing, so that way sellers don't have to worry about it. Okay. And then once you put your home on the market, again, we're talking about reviewing your neighborhood market too, so that way you understand exactly what you can expect. What does the time in the sale look like, right? If it's going to take a couple of weeks for you to get that most favorable buyer, what does that mean once you have a contract? How much time is it going to take for that buyer to go through their steps in their mortgage process and actually buy your home, where you get the proceeds and you're ready to move on to your next destination, okay? Packing, throwing, continuing to declutter. I encourage you to do this a little bit every day. Take advantage of your regular trash and recycle. That is one of the biggest things that I hope you take away, is just to doing a little bit every day to help you move in the right and forward direction. And of course, work with your Masonic Lodge representatives to have a smooth move and transition plan that they can help you and put in place for you to help you get this done as smooth as possible. And I do have free tools that I can help you with in your smooth transition. I'm more than happy to put them in the mail to you or email them to you, whichever is your comfort level. We can help you with your new home floor plan, inventory forms for each room, digital asset inventories, the checklist for your family conversation. And of course, I am always happy anytime to provide you with your free home and neighborhood analysis. And if you wanted to talk in private as well. So this is what I have to share with you today. And at this time, Linda, I'm going to stop sharing and ask away with questions. I hope that I try to provide you like a comprehensive overview. I know it's a lot overall.
Yeah, very good. Thanks, Olga.
Mhm.
Anyone have any questions?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead, Rick.
You were saying people are looking for more square footage. How much of a disadvantage is it if your house, including your front porch, is only about 800 square feet? You live in a tiny log cabin.
Well, it's an excellent question. And when they're saying that they're looking for more space, that's a broader overview, a kind of like, here's what the population is looking for. What I can tell you about your home is that there's a lot of buyers right now that are starting out that may not be able to afford a 2,000 square foot home. So for them, a nice starter home that is in the very competitive price point is something that's very desirable. So I'll give you another example. On our team, we have a buyer that's currently looking for a home, and they are going to be looking at one home tonight that is $180,000 and it's small, right? And the home went on the market 2 days ago, and they said that our appointment for our buyer today is the last one, right? So in terms of affordability, there are a lot of people that are looking in the lower price point, and for someone, your log cabin is a dream come true.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Absolutely.
I would also add what we've seen too is that people are looking to have an alternate place. So you might have someone who has their main residence in a city, whether it be Philadelphia or New York, and are looking to have a place, not to sell their place in New York or Philly, but to have a second home that they're able to either consider a vacation home or a country home or just a smaller space to be able to get out of the city, to work from home during something like this. So a smaller home would be something that they would be looking for as well, while not selling their main home. So you could have an advantage there by having that smaller home for that person.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Yeah. Go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, I have a question. Sometimes in today's market, I hear that houses are selling very quickly. What do you recommend? Waiting till you're ready to sell, or selling and maybe working out some other options?
I think my question would be, the first question I would ask a few questions to be able to answer this correctly. And one of them would be, what is your timeline for where you want to move? Right? So if we look at your neighborhood and we realize that you can sell your home for truly top dollar, one of the things that you can do is you can extend the settlement date and ask the buyer to wait a little bit, right? You can make it 2 months, you can make it 3 or 4 months. If the buyer is renting or maybe they're living with family, they might be willing to do that. If they say, well, yes, we're happy to wait, however, we can only wait for so long, and it is truly in your best interest, you can always secure a short-term rental, right? You go into the apartment maybe for a few months as you are transitioning into your new space. However, if you feel like this is too stressful for you to make a couple of separate moves, right? Because then you would have to put your items in storage, and then you have to move at one time and then another time. Then again, reverse engineering your time frame, it's always a good idea. And then we talk about different options, plan A, B, and C, to see what your comfort level is, right? So some people are okay jumping and okay with change because they know that the opportunity is now, versus other people say, well, I would rather wait until my new home is ready, and then I can kind of get everything lined up.
Well, I don't think that would be a worry here because we have the availability now.
Okay.
but if maybe, you haven't gotten rid of all of your stuff yet, I guess is my question.
Okay.
I would add to that a tip that one of our residents whose home moved much quicker than he had anticipated. So he was in the process of downsizing, cleaning out the garage when the house sold quickly. So they wanted a quick settlement. His suggestion, which he did, and actually several after have done it as well, they rented a storage unit nearby, just a mile down the road from Masonic Village, and he put things in there. And then, so he gave himself a 3-month period, a timeline. His first month was free at the storage unit. Then the next 2 months were $100 a month. So for $200, he had 3 months of being able to go through those belongings to really see. He would go over every day, every other day. He moved into his cottage, went over every day, every other day, went through boxes so that he could downsize and bring what he wanted to the cottage. And what he didn't want, he donated or, discarded or family took. So he had a plan in place that was to his advantage in the end, that even though his house had sold so quickly. So our residents are really great people to talk with. Certainly, if you ever wanted to have a one-on-one with them, a Zoom conversation, a phone conversation, let us know. We'll connect you with those people and how they did it. Michelle and I will tell you that no one has told us yet that they moved too soon, too quickly. What they're telling us is, we wish we had done this sooner. We wish we had made the move to Masonic Village. So there are a wealth of information. So we would love to share our residents with you as well, and those tips that they've done to make the move easier. And the other part of that is we do have Brenda. She's not on the call with us today, but Brenda DeWitt is our move-in coordinator. So she can help you through the whole process and the tips as well. So you have that resource at your fingertips as well.
Thanks.
Yeah, storage is an excellent idea. This way they have the time, it's not expensive, and then they can take the time and go through things later without rushing if they're on the timeline. Absolutely.
Yeah, and just being afraid that they might be tossing something that really was important to them, but under the stress of the move, they might have tossed it a little bit too soon, and then a month later said, "Oh, what did I do with that?" So it was a good idea that he used, and he's passed it on to many of the residents since.
I wanted to add one more thing real quick that I wanted to mention is that some people have expressed concerns to me about showing homes and getting people into their homes safely. The state has very, very stringent protocols for us to, the limiting number of people in at a time, making sure that the the protocols are in place. We can't have overlapping showings. So there is a strict schedule that we have to follow to make sure that you are safe and people that are coming in that are safe, to make sure that, everything gets done properly.
Good to know.
Thanks.
Good.
Vivian, Ron, anybody else has any other questions? Fire away.
No.
Okay.
That was very good.
Good.
Good, thank you. As I said, we're going to do this on a regular basis, on a monthly basis. We want to have you join in with others to have chats. We'll even have, a social just with residents, a resident panel. So we'll be sending those out on a regular basis. We encourage you to join us. Know that, we are here. Any questions, you have our numbers, give us a call. And again, we do have some incentives right now on the cottages that reduces the price to the 2017 pricing on our cottages. And some other tools that we have that help you to make this move. If your house hasn't sold, which I really doubt, because honest, it's amazing what's happened with our residents. But we do have a tool that we can use as well if your house hasn't sold. And our apartments, we're waiting for an incentive approval. That's coming shortly. On our apartments. So it's a good time to make the move. And as I said, our residents are saying, again, during this time, they felt so safe here. Our staff went out and did shopping, did banking for them. If they didn't feel comfortable going out, meals were delivered to their apartments, to their cottages when the restaurant and cafe were closed due to COVID. So it's really been a time of safety, but a time of connections here that maybe some didn't have if they were staying at home and were socially isolated at home. So again, I encourage you to talk to us, talk with our residents, find out what life's been like here at Masonic Village during this time. But again, I thank you all for joining us today. I look forward to seeing more of you on our future chats. And have a wonderful day. Stay safe and stay well.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Can I talk to you for 1 second more?
Sure.
Just something on your presentation. On
Sure.
the screen where you talk about the IRS regs for selling a house.
Mm-hmm.
I know you said the right word and I knew what word you were going to say, but the word is wrong on the screen. It says gain instead of gain,
Okay.
so that you can repair that.
Yes, ma'am. I just followed my account suggestions, so.
Are you a former teacher, Vivian?
Oh, a banker, that's why.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I have a question. The presentation, are we going to have access to that? Okay, good.
Absolutely. Well, I will send this over to Linda and then she can forward it to you and then you will have all this information.
Excellent.
Good.
Absolutely.
Nice
Absolutely.
presentation, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
very well
Thank
done.
you.
And Linda, are there any 2-bedroom cottages available at this time?
There are 4 of the cottage ones available, which is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,540 square feet.
Okay. And
Yeah, so
do any of them back up? Like there was one section where some of them on the outskirts back up to I think it's like a stream or something.
yeah, there's a retention pond. There is one that just came back to us that's along that retention pond that backs up to one of the retention ponds. If you came into the community on the right-hand side where the cottages are, certainly, if you want to come over and have a look, you can see where the location is. Or if you want me to send out, I can email you a map that shows you where the location is.
Oh, that'd be great.
Okay, I'll do that.
Have the entry fees remained the same?
For the cottages, it reduced the price on the entrance fee to 2017 pricing. So with the pricing right now, for the 8-year declining on the cottage, it is $256,111 is the entrance fee. But with the incentive that we have right now, it reduces it to $225,000. And even on our 80%, there's a reduction there. And we can go over that if you're interested in knowing more about the incentive. It's like I said, it's a significant savings.
All right. I did.
Yes.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. Is that it on questions?
I also recorded this coffee as well, so I can send Linda, I'll send you the recording so that way we can forward it to everybody as well.
Good.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful day.
Thank
you.
you.
You too.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.